Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back, and today we're going to carry on working in this happy little journal. I don't know why I'm saying happy, but I just feel like it's a happy journal. I think it's the colours. It's just gorgeous colours, gorgeous rich colours, and this is so strokeable. Anyway, so loads of things I want to do. Whether I'll get them all done in this video, I have no idea. I have managed to cut off a piece of my snippet roll. I really wasn't sure if I'd managed to actually cut it because it's quite thick with this, what do they call it, header tape backing. But I did manage to, but it did take me a while to saw my way through with my scissors. But I'm going to put that on this edge here as a side tuck. So I thought maybe I should just start with doing that. And then we'll see what we do, because then I can decide about my closure another time. I'm not going to worry about it right now. So that's what I want to do first. I have many things I want to do, but we can just keep going until it's all done. So everybody well today? I hope so. We're all doing pretty well. My husband's back into his running regime. His knee seems to be well on the mend, so we're still maybe on for him to do the marathon in September. It'll be the end of September. So he's signed up to do a marathon up in Scotland, running around Loch Ness, to be quite something. Hang on, let's just make sure I am which way. Yes, that is the right. Just checking which way the opening is. Right, let's hope that's going to hold. Just wondering if I just ought to put a few clips on just to hold it in place. I might just do that because I don't know how easy it's going to be for this velvety background fabric for the glue to attach to it. So maybe I can, whoops, tipping that over. I might just put some clips on. Right, well that should hold for a bit. So we've been adding some extra pages to the signatures. So we added somewhere. Did we not? I think we did. Just got to find it so I can remind myself what we did. So right, we added one here. This is some Roxy Creations paper, which is gone into, this is a pull out like that with a side tuck here. And I'm going to probably put something on the edge here, some sort of tab. I might round the corners, things like that. Just do a little bit extra work on that. Then in the second signature, or the middle signature, I think I added a pocket somewhere. Here we are. Some of this lovely paper from Crafty Cat. Pocket there. So now we're going to do add something to the third signature, this one. So I'm just going to put these bits aside. And we can bring them back in a moment, and the cover. So we have our third signature, and this has got a little piece that we can add something to here. This is some of my food colour dyed paper. And lo and behold, I have another Roxy Creations paper with an owl on it. It's just so pretty. I thought it would be lovely to use some of this. And it's got some, I think this is probably from the Medieval Mirage kit on the back. so it's all in keeping. In fact, I hadn't even realised it's a very similar pattern to what's on here. So that's going to go quite well together. So I think for this one, my plan is, I think I'll take this out. So I actually want to glue it onto there, so it's lined up on there. So I guess probably glue it here. Now I don't know whether I want to make this into some sort of side tuck. Now I did cut this down, this piece, because it was too long, but now it's actually, I may have made a mistake because now this is hanging it down too long, but actually I might just centre it. Not worry about that. Now I could make this into a little tuck here, couldn't I? Maybe, should I do that? I'll just glue it down. Maybe I will just glue it down and put a pocket somewhere else, because I think it just makes this a little bit vulnerable to try and tuck something in there, really. So yeah, so I'm going to glue this piece onto here. I think I'm going to do that first. So hang on, let's make sure I get this the right way up. So it was folding back that way, wasn't it? Yes, it's folding that way, that's right. Well, it is now. And I need some glue paper. So this is going to go, is that right? I want it like that. So that's going to go, yeah, just going to go on like that. Right, okay. I think I know what I'm doing, which is a relief, eh? I think I know what I'm doing. I hope I know what I'm doing. Ooh. Right. I think I might just flatten that out, make sure I get the glue right to the edge. Okay. And then this is going to, no, I've got to do it the other way. Just trying to find the right way to glue it on without, which it's going to line it up the best. Rachel for Rocky Creations do this kind of thing all the time, and she just plonks it on and she's there. Yep. When I say plonk, I mean she just puts it on there and she seems to be able to get it lined up. I know she often says it's not, but always looks pretty good to me. Here's my little spreader. So I'll just try and put this on as smoothly as I can. Okay, got a little wrinkle there, but that'll be fine. Okay, so we have that, and we have this lined up here like that. Now what I would like to do, so I'm hoping it'll work out, is fold it like, well, I'm going to fold, I think first, no, let's just get this the right way around. Fold in this piece so that we see the owl. Hold that there. So that's nice nice and straight. And then I want to fold that back on itself, like that. Now, is that going to work like that? Is that too close to the join? I'm not sure. That's going in there. That's going to go in there. So you can pull it out like that. You can write on all of this because this is lovely writing paper. I was considering maybe making this into a little pocket because this is going to fold out here, right all across here. I might put a pocket here, and this could fold out, or it could be a pocket. I'm not sure at the moment which way I want to go with this. I'm just wondering whether to turn that in. That could also be quite nice. Have that turned in like that. Glue it down here. Have something in here, couldn't we? Maybe I'll do that. I'm having it just totally square. Well, no. Square corners. I did that. Folded that in there. And then we glue that along there. Then we've got something to tuck. We can tuck something in here. We can fold this out. I've got all this writing space. Maybe a pocket here. Yeah, why not? Fold. Yeah, we can play with that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I just need my book page again. Glue this piece down. I'm going to do some inking on this, I think, because it's quite white. It just feels a little bit too white around this. Oops, around these edges. I think I am going to go over this a little bit with some ink, perhaps not the walnut stain that I'm using on the edges, just something a little lighter, just to kind of make this look a little less white and a little bit less clean on here. So I need a big brush. I'll try the brushed corduroy on this just to see how it looks. It's not as dark. Right, so it's given that a little bit more a vintage look. It's got that lovely lace and everything, but I just need to glue this down now. So let's get my little pot of tacky glue. Right, okay, happy with that. So we have our nice little pocket there, so we'll be able to see the journal card or tag poking out from above there. So that's this signature with its extra page. I don't think I'm going to add any more, but I keep thinking of things I'd like to add. I may do a bit of decorating on this, haven't quite decided at the moment. And I will do a bit of decorating, I think, on this as well. But I'm just getting the bones done, then the basics. So I'm just going to put that over here with the others. And we will come back to those. I might get them glued in, not glued in, sewn in fairly soon. I'll probably do that off camera. I think you've seen me struggle with that often enough. And yeah, I might just do that in between this video and the next. Then we can start actually working in the journal, decorating and adding pockets and things. So this should be dry now. The fabric glue is pretty quick usually to grab. Okay, and I think I probably will use another strip of it as a belly band, but I haven't quite decided where it's going to go yet, so I thought, well, I won't cut another piece until I know where I want it to go, because I'll be able to choose which bit works best in that position. So that's just waiting in the sidelines, but yeah, I'm happy with that. So what I would like to do now is work on the cover. So I've been having a bit of a play, pulled out a few bits. I found this in my stash and I have no idea where it came from. I felt like it came with a pack of bits of different textured card or something like that when I bought something else. I really can't remember. I came across it. It's actually self-adhesive on the back, but this just peels off, so I will use some extra glue. It's quite tacky, but on the fabric I wouldn't trust it, so I probably will glue it. I might sew around it before I glue it on, but I thought if I make the topper and then sew around it before I attach it. But just going to trim. It's got a bit. Oh, this is going to be tricky to cut, I think, because of the self-adhesive. There we are. So what I've pulled out, there was a set of freebie, a page of freebies from Crafty Cat to accompany her Fae journal, and there was various sort of tree images, and I really liked this one. And I just thought it looks a bit like woodland, and what I want to do is put put an owl, put a fairy, and make a little woodlandy scene, bringing in the two themes. But obviously this is far too big. So I think, but I've got a few other bits I want to put behind it, so maybe I shouldn't cut it down until I put it together. So I've got this piece of fabric that I printed from the Fake kit, and actually want to cut this piece off because this doesn't quite belong on with this bit. Oh, these scissors are never going to work on there, are they? No, they are not. Just trim that bit off. So I thought perhaps I'd be able to just put a piece of this there. And then I'll cut it down to the right width. Now I know it's not quite as tall as I want, but I've got this piece of fabric as well, which is exactly the same colour as the flowers here. So if I put that behind, and then this will stand out a bit more. I put this behind my image, pull that up there, and that can go there. Then I need to just take off this white strip at the bottom, so I probably should just do that. No, do it that way. And see if I can tear that. Maybe not. Oh, that's coming. There we go. Don't need that bit. Now I've got a nice torn edge. So I'm just going to, no, not that way. Go for that. And a piece of this. No, this way. It's kind of got a big pull there. Right, so a bit of that. And this going to go there. This might be too long here. I don't really want quite as much as that. And then I will just tear it there, I think. Okay, this is a little bit long in the end. So I want this little flower to show, so it's bringing out those lovely warm colours. So that's going to go there. So that's the basis. I think what I want to do to start with, I'll get rid of this bit of fluff, get off. I want to rough up the edges, so I just got to get this out. Get my little Tim Holtz distresser out. Thought I would distress the edges of this first. So I'm still trying to decide how much of this fabric I need. I think it's just a little longer than I want, so I don't know if I'll be able to tear it again. See if I can get it to tear. such a narrow piece. I shouldn't have cut off the white bit, should I? I'd have had a bit more to get hold of. I think I'll just have to cut it and then try and fray it after. Maybe that little bit. Okay. And then I'll reduce this down as well. Okay. That's come out all right. I think it naturally wants to fray anyway. So now I need to trim this down a piece, just a bit there, and I cut it. I want it to be reasonably straight. I've still got a lovely piece left to use. Right, so now we need to cut down our background piece. So I'm just going to mark where I want it. I'm not quite sure what it's made of. It looks like strips of, almost like straw or maybe raffia or something, maybe. There. Let's see how this cuts. That's all right. And cut straight. Right, how's that? Is that too wide? I might need to cut it down a bit more. I just didn't want to overdo it and then regret that I've made it a bit narrow. So that can go like that. Pull that up a touch. And then we've got our image on there like that. It's coming together. Do I need anything else behind here? I think the first thing I want to do is really get this a bit, give this a bit of colour. It's a bit of the walnut stain over the top, because obviously it's a bit too bright. Okay, let's see how that looks. I think already that looks better. Now is now a good time to sew. No, it's going to come up a bit more. Trying to decide if I want something behind here. I don't know. Let's see what I've got in my little box. I'd only want a narrow piece. I wonder about a piece of this. So if I had that bit, it would bring in this colour, which would go quite well. Don't know. No, I don't like that. It'd have to be this one. I'm not sure. Let me just see. Let me just see if I like it. It's a bit long. going to tear. I'd really like it if you did. Oh, yeah, I think it is. I've got me on another piece of fabric that I thought that might work as well, so I don't know. I don't know if they're going to use this or not, but we'll try. Let's see. I'd really like these little flowers to show actually, so maybe I'll just do it that way up. Then we'll put this piece on. It needs to come down just a touch more. I could make this piece a little bit shorter. It's showing just a bit. I like that. And we've got that. Yeah, I like it actually. Yes, I do. I've got this piece, but I don't think that's going to work as well, is it? It's also got this kind of browny red colour in it. No, I like this piece. Okay. Good. Happy with that. Now, I'm just thinking, shall I sew around it? I might just put a bit of glue on each piece just to hold it into place. So I will, I don't know if this will, don't know how well this one will work for that, so let's see. Might actually be able to use my glue stick for the first piece. So I'm only going to use a bit in the middle just to hold it in place. I'm going to put that there. Just make sure it's in the middle. It's going to go down there. Then I've got this piece. Okay. That's going to go there. Make sure that lies flat. Okay. And then this piece is going to go on top. So we'll just do a bit of, just a little bit of glue there. Like that. And then there's a piece. I'm not even sure if I want to, do I want to sew this piece? Yeah, perhaps I do. And I'm going to put a bit of, where is it? I'm going to use the piece of fabric glue to hold this one down. So I've got to go and, unfortunately I've got to go and change my thread now to be able to sew on the machine. Oh, sorry, that was just my phone. If I want to sew this, I don't want to use the cream thread that's in my machine at the moment. So I've got to change it to brown. So I could be gone a while, but you won't notice. Depends how long it takes me to change my thread. Sometimes it just goes straight through the little, the needle hole. You know, the little, through the hole in the needle. First time of trying. But more often it takes me about 10 goes to get it to go through. So we'll see how long it takes me today. And then I will be back just to finish this off and get it onto the cover. But I'm liking how it's looking so far. So I will be back. Right, I'm back. I have sewn around it. I've done a zigzag around the edge of the image, and then I've done a straight stitch just around the edge of this. I felt it needed something around that edge. I kind of lost the benefit of distressing this the edges of this really, but these things happen as you move along and do things. You kind of go over the things that you've done before. I don't know. It just it's fine. That's what I want. I wanted some sewing on it. The changing of the thread went okay. Didn't take too long, mainly because I remembered I had a needle threader thingy that I'd had with my old machine. I've had it for donkey's years, and it was in my box, and I'd forgotten I had it. I had a vague memory that last time I tried to use it, I couldn't find a way to use it, but I thought I'd give it a go, and managed to make it work. It's a bit fiddly. I'm not very dexterous, but I managed to find a way to make it work. So I'm going to be using that in future. So right, so we've now got our little base. So with this is this is an owl and fairy journal. So I want to put an owl and a fairy on the front, of course. I found this adorable little teeny weeny fairies, and she are just too cute for words. And she's got the perfect colour to go with this background, so she's not terribly obvious. She's kind of blending in, so she's a little bit hidden away in the forest, and she looks so sweet sitting there. So I thought I'd try and sit her on this piece of ephemera with toadstools on, because she could be perching on a mushroom or a toadstool or something like that. And then I've got another small piece that says believe, and so it's seemed kind of appropriate for a fairy. Believe in a fairy, believe in fairies. So I thought if I could perch on there, so her little feet are sitting on the believe, and she's got some toadstools that she's perching amongst. So I thought I'd put her there. I really like her, she's so sweet. And then I've got one of my owls from the owl ephemera or fussy cut kit that I bought, and I'm just going to have him flying out of the trees up there. I think that's what I want to do. Or do I want him over here? Kind of flying that way, just so that we've got a bit of balance. Maybe that would look better there. And I've got this piece of, I think this is a piece of that calico that I've been using, that I thought was just sitting around on my desk, and I thought maybe I could tuck that behind him and put owl. I've got owls, but I'm not sure whether to do owls or owl, because it is an owl and fairy. Owls and fairies. I think owls is a bit long, but it's going to fit just. I might just take the S off. And then he can just have owl poking from behind him. Well, we know he's an owl. It's just kind of more of a title really, owl fairy. So I'll just do that. I'll just stamp that onto here. I'll get my good old pine cone out, because that's what I like to use for this. This little tiny piece, but it's just big enough for what I want. Pop that on there. Just hold it a moment, make sure the ink transfers. There we go. Okay. Owl. So that could just go. Sorry, just put this out of the way now. owl is going to go up here. Like so. So let's glue that on. Use the fabric glue, I think, for both of these. Oh. I've got to be careful because I haven't glued this onto here because I want to wait until the signatures are in, because I'm going to want to put some lace or something around the spine. So I'm going to put this here with the owl there, but I must make sure, move it along a little bit. I don't want to glue it to here because that would be silly, because this is not glued on. So I just want to glue him to the actual topper without attaching him to the background yet. So I need to just be aware of where he goes over the edge. Let's just hold it in place again. It's going to go there, so I can go up to about here. In fact, I think I'll take it off, make sure I don't glue it to the background. Right, I'll just curl him around there. Just got a little bit of glue just poking up above. It's there, otherwise I'm okay. So he's on there. Really like him. And then the little fairy. So I'm thinking, quite like this piece of lace, which again was another little piece that was floating on my desk. I think this must have been from when I made the snippet. I wonder whether to pop that under there. That one could go there. That one on there like that. Let's see how she would look like that. Maybe further along that way. Maybe sticking out this side rather than that side. Like that. Let's have a look. There. Pop her there. There's like a little road behind. I don't know whether you want to see a bit of that road actually. Let me see if I can bring that down a little bit. Quite like the idea of being able to see the little fairy path just behind her like that. Yes, I do quite like that. So I might just tear this. I don't really want it poking below the card or the topper. Let's see how that. So I did that there. Oops. There, how would that be? And then we can see the little road behind her where she's just tottered along to come and perch on her mushrooms. Yeah, I know. A bit fanciful. And I think I need to just cut this down a bit. Well, that's what these journals are, aren't they? Little flights of fancy. Oops. Fantasy, should I say. I got that the right way around. Yes, I have. Little flights of fantasy. That there. Okay, I'm going to glue it on now. Just be done with it. Okay, so they're glued on. I really like that. Now I just had a thought. And so I've just sort of lifted these edges up a little bit because I'm thinking I might try and put some die cuts up here or something to give it a bit more dimension. But I have to go and see what I can find. Okay, so I have a bunch of leafy style die cuts here and a few that have been punched out as well, smaller ones. So I just thought I'd have something travelling up the side here, and I've just had another thought as well. Maybe I'll just stick with these. I've also got the leaf trim I could have put up here, but that maybe not. I'd just quite like to try some of these. If I could just tuck that under there a bit, kind of like that. Put that there maybe. What else have we got? I've got a couple of different red pieces. So that's just my phone. Does that every time I film. I wondered about these red berries, just because of the red in the background, just to put it in. I've got a few bits. I think this might be a bit bright. That go there. Maybe. Got this piece which is more brown. Just trying to get a variety of shapes and colours in here. Is that too blendy, too brown? I think this one might be a bit, no, it's a bit too green, too bright a green. Got a bit more of this. That's the same as that one. Don't know. Bit of holly. Coming around maybe. Not sure about the red now. Don't know, it just kind of stands out too much. I wonder whether this darker red would be better. It would be more toning in, and I don't want this bright green either. Kind of like that, I think. Just feel like it gives it a bit more texture, a bit more interest. So I'm going to kind of layer it from the back down. I like this one curving around the top. So I'm going to have this one. Put this one on first. This stuff is always a bit reluctant to start coming out. It's a bit thick. As it gets going, it's not too bad. Whoop! No. No, no, no. Let's see if I can get that to come. Glue on first. Kind of folding around towards the owl. And this piece, whoops. And this piece next. Okay. And then we're just going to glue these pieces here. Make sure that's a bit of glue under each area. So I think these pieces make it look a bit less flat, give it a bit more depth. I'm just wondering whether to put a couple of pieces up this side as well, or just the one. Yeah, maybe just that one piece, I like that. Yeah, on that side. So I think that's the last little thing I'm going to do on this today. I think once I can put this on, once the signatures. I'm trying to think what I'm doing and also what I was going to say. Once the signatures have been sewn in, then I can put my topper on, and maybe I think I'd like to put some lace around it. I'm not sure, or behind the topper. I haven't quite decided on that, but I don't want to commit myself until those are sewn in and I know what I'm dealing with. So that is my topper. I really love that. I'm really pleased how that's turned out, really. So yeah, lots of fun. I think she's great. I love her. She's so sweet. Just hiding in amongst the foliage there. Little secret, little fairy, just coming out to see what's going on in the world. Coming out of the trees. There we are. So thank you very much for joining me today. I've had lots of fun. I hope you're enjoying this. And before I see you, I aim to get my signatures sewn in. I think that should be my next plan. And then we'll start working in the journal itself. So I'll see you soon. Bye for now.